do you want to do today?
Ride like one last mile.
All day long. All day long. Queen Charlotte track, there we go. Well, not quite yet. Pretty.
Indeed.
Boats and stuff.
That boat this afternoon as well, because it's been pushed out a bit. I think we're going to have to go deliver a couch and stuff anyway, so it'll probably end up being closer to 4 anyway.
Oh, cool.
But if you jump on marinetraffic.com,
Yeah.
you can track where the boat is. Yeah, okay. You can track where the boat is.
Is there good signal at the track, is there? Cell phone signal?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get it quite a ways through, so.
Cool.
I don't often narrate a video, but I feel that this one needs some explaining. This is the Queen Charlotte track, or trail. 72 odd kilometers. All the information that we could gather suggested about 1800 meters of vertical. We had one day to do it in. This was at the end of a 10-day bikepacking trip in the South Island of New Zealand.
Yeah.
So we're on tired legs, I guess, by then. Saddle. Salad. Ships Cove Saddle. First climb done. Now I guess we go back down to sea level so we can climb another fucking hill, right?
Sounds like a plan.
I gotta drop a post. So we did the first climb to Ships Cove Saddle in good spirits and started down this amazing descent. It was about 7 minutes or so of just 4 to 8 degrees downhill, no pedaling, fairly smooth, a little bit rocky, beautiful views, just absolutely loving life.
Ooh.
I think it's probably worth mentioning at this point that when we booked the boat taxi to take us to the start and pick us up from the end, the company told us that we would be dropped off at 9 a.m. and we would be picked up at 4 p.m. What actually happened was that we got dropped off at 9:30 a.m. and then got told that the pickup was 3:30 p.m. taking an hour out of our already ambitious day. We weren't too worried though, looking at the elevation, which we believed was 1800 meters, and the distance, 72 kilometers, we believed we had enough time to achieve that quite comfortably.
Whoa.
The Queen Charlotte Trail had only opened very recently before this trip due to massive storms and massive flooding in the area. It was really only, if we tried it a week before, I think it would have been questionable. So it had really only been accessible and open to cyclists for a week by the time we rode it.
In fact, that's the opposite of bad.
That's pretty good. What I found through this trip was quite interesting was that we were riding not on mountain bike trails but on walking tracks, on New Zealand Great Walks, maintained to a standard for walking, which you'd think it would be easy to cycle on, but it's actually not always, because when we're walking jumping from rock to rock or hopping from rock to rock is not really an issue. When you're trying to roll through it with a mountain bike, it gets quite rough, especially on the downhills.
Nice.
Very good, sir.
Very good, sir. Very good, sir. I'm gonna have to snack very soon.
So bizarrely, this was the first trail that we rode on this trip where water was somehow scarce. We found this tap next to the trail,
Hello.
which really helped.
There is water next to the track, which is very nice. Would you look at that? Nice bicycle. But look at that. Not bad. That might mean we are at the halfway point. Booyakasha.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
We stopped for lunch at some point with a place with a nice view, and then suddenly realised that we didn't have enough time. So the rest of the day became a race. When the rest of the day became a race, filming kind of went out the window a little bit. So most of the filming was done when it was comfortable to ride, so wider trails, the downhills,
No,
the uphills.
more up.
There was a lot of hiker bike, which I don't think we were prepared for. We were definitely not warned about it, but then we did our research and arguably we did that badly. To add insult to injury, my riding buddy Ryan pretty much destroyed his bottom bracket, or was destroying his bottom bracket by this time.
See, more up.
So anything that wasn't downhill, anything that was uphill was just 25-30% more effort for him, because he had to push through that non-working bottom bracket as well as trying to propel himself up the hill. And again, this is where the difference is between the walking trails and the mountain bike trails, I guess. In building this trail or designing this trail, as beautiful as it is, it was never intended as a bike trail. So the elevation gain, or the way you gained elevation, was designed and geared towards walking, which works, absolutely, it's not a problem. But when you are 40, 50k into a day where the whole day has been a race, and suddenly you are presented with a hill that you cannot ride up, and you're trying to maintain, I think at that point in time we were having to maintain 14 or 15 kilometers an hour to get to the end in time, which again, it doesn't sound that bad when you're riding a mountain bike. I've done 100 kilometer races with 3,500 meter elevation in faster than that, in 15 or 16k an hour average, I can't remember. But this was just different. This was just draining, just taxing.
Oh, Sarah's looking majestic.
Sarah's looking majestic, hang on. Just swing this one around. Boom, look at that. Beautiful.
We got to about 1,700 meters of elevation at some stage when Ryan looked on his watch,
Now.
and we thought, that's it, we're done. Everything's downhill from here, because there can't possibly be more uphill.
Taria Bay.
Little did we know that the actual total elevation was almost 2,300 meters. So a solid 500 meters more than what we were expecting. Which was a thing. Which was no small thing. It started getting pretty emotional towards the end. We tried to phone the boat company to warn them that we were not going to make it, and ask them to wait for us for a few minutes. They weren't answering their phone. We couldn't get hold of them. We remembered on the drop-off, or on the way out on the boat, they talked about this saddle that people used to walk through to get to a different sound from Queen Charlotte Sound to Pelorus Sound.
12k.
But riding like this in and amongst the trees, it's very difficult to really gauge where you are. So we never, at this point, with 12 kilometers to go, we didn't really know how much uphill was left, how much downhill was left, and we didn't really know whether we had reached the saddle or not. And it was just brutal. We had, I think, I want to say 45 minutes left to do the 12 kilometers in. And again, it doesn't sound like a lot, but gauging from the rest of the day, we were not going to make it. So we just started pushing. All the watts. We didn't stop. We didn't have time to take a drink. We had plenty of food left, or nutrition left, but just didn't have time to stop to have it. So the game plan at this point had just become to put absolutely everything into finishing this day. Ryan, with his broken bottom bracket, was just pushing so hard. You can hear on the riding video how I am just panting, which I normally don't do at this sort of pace. And looking back at the video, this is all flat and downhill stuff. Like I stopped filming the uphill stuff because there was just too much effort required, too much frustration, and frankly too much swearing. This is when we had 3 kilometers left to go. I think this was the time that the boat was supposed to leave.
Go.
We couldn't see it. We were trying to see the boat. Had no way of communicating with the boat itself, and we were just hoping that they would be kind enough or nice enough to realize that we were supposed to be there and just give us a few minutes to catch up. But there was no talking. There was just no there was just nothing we could do apart from just pedal as hard as we could at this stage. I think it would be fair to say that there are better ways to ride this trail without the time constraints that we had. One of the thoughts that we had afterwards was to camp at the start of the trail, so you can get an early start, and then the boat companies will pick your luggage up and move it to the end. That would give you a solid extra 2 hours to do it. Even 1 hour more on this day would have changed everything. It would have taken the pressure off. At this stage, it felt like impossible. Towards the very end of this trail, it felt like the trail was just carrying on and on, and there was just no end in sight until suddenly we just burst out of the trees, and there we were. I could see the jetty that we had to go to, but I couldn't see a boat, and I had no idea where this boat was. And if we had missed the boat, it was another 22 kilometers with another 500 meter elevation to get to where we were staying, or to get to where the car was.
Well, there's no fucking boat there. There's no boat there.
Marine traffic.
That was an emotional day.
Je suis empty.
Je suis empty.
Oh,
There is nothing left. The bottom bracket she's broken.
seriously, like.
The boat was
Well,
missed.
watch.
Boat was missed by 5 minutes.
Boat is turning round.
Boat is turning around. Legends. That's amazing.
We owe them a beer, I think.
I think we owe them a beer. Yeah. Beer. Ooh. That'd be good.
Jesus.
Sir's a bit of a sweaty mess. You.
Yeah, it's the BB collapsing on the end of the boat.
Yeah. Just explodes. and stop.
This is it.
Show me your bottom bracket, dude. I don't think it should be doing that.
Yeah, you should feel it. Oh.
So
We were trying to call the office to say we're just keep going around. We missed you by 2 minutes.
but we know that
You're here, that's
we know the rules. We know we owe you beer.
Right there, obviously. Oh, you're going to do another run, unfortunately.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Please don't put mud in the inside.
Last bit out here.
No, take
Just know.
Can I go home now?
No. we want to ride some more bikes. You told me you wanted to come to New Zealand and ride bicycles. That's what you said. And you came here and we rode bicycles.
Myself on a mountain bike, but I done it in 3 stages.
It's probably sensible.
Yes.
Yeah. And I tell you what, that was hard enough for me.
Look at you pushing your bike up the hill. We found the brown car. Brunchies.
I wonder where my hearing aids were.